Hey, fam, ever notice someone you love acting a little off lately? Small shifts that nag at you, but you can't quite pin down? We often think the end comes out of nowhere in old age, like a sudden curtain drop. But here's the real tea. The body's been whispering hints, sometimes a whole year before the final bow. Trouble is, most of us miss these vibes. They're subtle, easy to shrug off as just aging. It's only later looking back that the puzzle pieces snap together, and you realize the signs were there all along. Too late to brace yourself, too late to soak up those last big moments. In this video, I'm breaking down 6 quiet signals that might show up a year before an elderly loved one passes. Some you've maybe clocked but dismissed, others are sneaky changes that hint the body's winding down. Spotting these early? It's your chance to step up care, make memories that stick, and wrap their final chapter in comfort, dignity, and peace. Stick with me to the end. These 6 clues could shift how you prepare, emotionally and practically, so you're not blindsided. You'll cherish every second left with them. Before we dive in, hit that like button if you're here for real talk. It keeps me dropping these life lessons. Not subscribed? Smash subscribe and tap the bell. Don't miss what's next. Oh, and drop a 1 in the comments if this vibes with you. 0 if it flops. I want to level up for you. Ready? Let's get into it. Sign 1. Weight melting off. A silent SOS beyond hunger. Let's kick things off with the first red flag that might have slipped under your radar. Unexpected weight loss. Picture this. You catch your loved one in their go-to sweater, and it's hanging off them like a sack, sleeves drooping where they used to hug tight. That trusty pair of jeans. Suddenly they're sliding down, needing a tighter cinch or an extra loop on the belt. Meals they used to devour with gusto, think Sunday roasts or a stack of pancakes, now sit barely touched, forks poking at crumbs while they mutter, "I'm just not that hungry." At first you might shrug it off. Nah, appetites shrink with age, no biggie. Or, they've had an off day. But when the scale keeps dipping week after week, and their frame starts looking more fragile than fierce, something's whispering in your gut. This isn't right. This isn't your run-of-the-mill, I skipped lunch scenario. It's the body waving a quiet distress signal, and it's louder than you think. Sure, as we pile on the years, a little muscle fade is par for the course. Nobody's bench pressing their 30s forever. But when weight peels off fast without a diet or gym membership in sight, it's not just a quirky phase. It's a sign the engine's sputtering. The digestive system, that trusty food processor, starts misfiring. Nutrients aren't sticking around like they used to. Proteins, the building blocks of muscle, hit a wall. The body can't churn them into strength anymore. What's left? A slow crumble. Muscles shrink, energy tanks, and that sturdy frame you knew starts looking like it's folding in on itself. It's not just numbers on a scale or a looser waistband. This is about life-shifting gears. Simple stuff like shuffling to the mailbox, standing up from the couch, or hauling a grocery bag turns into a Herculean slog. Independence, that rock they leaned on, starts wobbling. And then there's the food vibe. Taste buds go on strike, flavors lose their punch, and the brain's hunger alarm? It's stuck on mute. That plate of lasagna that used to light up their eyes? Now it's a maybe later chore. It's not them being picky, it's their system prepping for a bigger exit, pulling back from the fuel it once craved. For you watching this unfold, it's a heart squeezer. You're whipping up their childhood faves, mac and cheese, apple pie, whatever worked back in the day, hoping to spark that old fire. You're blending smoothies, sneaking in protein powder, nudging them with a hopeful, "Just a bite, please." But the pounds keep vanishing, and it feels like you're losing ground. It's brutal, raw, like you're watching them slip through your fingers, and all you want to do is yell, "Eat something, stay with me." But here's the pivot point. This isn't a war you can win with a fork. Pushing harder doesn't pack the weight back on. It just piles on stress they don't need. So what's the move? Flip the script. Stop chasing calories and start chasing calm. This is your cue to lean into what does work: comfort, ease, love. Forget forcing a 3-course meal. Think tiny wins. A spoonful of their favorite soup, warm and smooth, no chewing required. A sip of herbal tea that soothes more than it fills. A soft peach slice they can nibble without a fight. Hydration's the MVP now. Keep it light, keep it flowing. The goal's not a number on the scale anymore. It's their peace. No more battles over bites, just gentle offerings that say, I've got you. But here's the real gold. Food's not the only fuel they're craving. The best nourishment? It's you. Your voice filling the room with a story, your hand resting on theirs, your laugh cutting through the quiet. Maybe they can't polish off a plate like the old days, but they can still soak up a song you hum, a memory you share, the vibe of you just being there. That's the stuff that sticks. Their body might be shedding weight, prepping to let go, but your presence keeps them anchored. You're not powerless here, you're priceless. Real deal moment. Think about Lisa, 72. Her family noticed her shrinking over months. Shirts got baggy, dinners went cold. They tried everything, steaks, shakes, pleating, but nada. Then her daughter switched gears. Small bowls of broth, a comfy chair, quiet chats about old road trips. Lisa didn't bulk up, but her eyes lit up. Less strain, more connection. I didn't need the food, she said once. I just needed them close. That's the shift. Love outlasts the scale every time. This weight drops a heads up. The body's winding down, not waving goodbye yet. Don't mourn the loss. Mind the moment. Ever seen this slow fade in someone you love? Drop it in the comments. I'm here to hear your story. Sign 2. Exhaustion that sticks. When the tank's running. Dry, all right, let's roll into sign number 2. A bone-deep fatigue and weakness that just won't budge. You start clocking it in little ways. They're parked on the couch more than usual. Chores that used to take 10 minutes now stretch into an hour. Or that spark they had for gardening or card games. It's flickering out. You tell yourself, they're just wiped. Give them a good nap. They'll bounce back. Heck, but here's the gut punch. No matter how much they crash, the tank stays empty. They wake up looking like they pulled an all-nighter, eyes heavy, shoulders slumped, like the rest didn't even touch the surface. This isn't your average I need a coffee tired. It's the body hitting the brakes hard. What's going down? As the years pile up, the machinery inside starts to wind down. Organs don't hum like they used to. Blood's not racing through the pipes full speed, and the energy stash they once tapped into. It's shrinking fast. Every move, shuffling to the kitchen, pulling on a sweater, even shooting the breeze, sucks more juice than they've got to give. Picture it like a phone stuck on 5% battery. No matter how much you plug it in, it's barely holding a charge. Crossing the living room turns into a trek across the Sahara. Standing up feels like deadlifting a truck, and keeping up a chat? It's like they're running on fumes. For someone who used to own their day, bustling around, cracking jokes, keeping the world spinning, this fade is a soul crusher. You see it in their face, that flicker of, I want to do more, drowned out by a body screaming, I can't. It's not laziness or giving up. It's their system shifting into low gear, prepping for the off-ramp. And man, it's brutal to watch. Someone who was your rock now crumbling under a weight you can't lift for them. Your instinct? Rally mode. Come on, get moving. It'll perk you up. You're thinking action's the cure. That pushing keeps them alive longer. But here's the real talk. That push can backfire, leaving them more tapped out and ticked off. So, what's the play? Chill the fight vibes and lean into the calm. This isn't about dragging them back to their old hustle. It's about wrapping their downtime in peace. Stop eyeing what they can't do and zoom in on what still lights them up, even if it's just for a minute. They're zonked all day? Cool. Set up a comfy spot by the window, sunlight streaming in, no effort needed. They nod off mid-story. No sweat. Hold their hand. Let them drift. Be the anchor when they float back. Naps aren't the enemy here. They're the body's way of saying, I'm pacing myself. Your job. Make those awake blips golden. Quiet laughs, a soft, you're still my champ. No pressure to perform. It's a knife twist, watching their fire dim. You want to crank the dial back to full blast. But love isn't about forcing horsepower they don't have. It's about riding shotgun while they coast. Tell them their worth isn't tied to chores or chatter. It's in every breath they're still sharing with you. Ease the guilt. Rest's cool. I've got this. When they're up, milk it. Swap a memory. Play their old school jams. Soak in the flicker of them. Fatigue's a beast, but your vibe can tame it. Real deal snap. Take Jim, 79. He was the guy who'd mow the lawn, grill for the block, never sat still. Then fatigue hit like a truck, half days on the recliner, barely lifting a fork. His son pushed, "Dad, walk it off." But Jim just sank deeper, mad at himself. Shift came when they stopped pushing. A porch chair, a radio humming Sinatra, chats when he had the juice. Jim didn't spring back, but he smiled more. "I'm not useless, just resting," he'd say. That's the win. Peace over pressure. This exhaustion's a signal. The engine's idling, not stalling yet. Don't wrestle it, roll with it. Ever seen this slow drain hit someone close? Spill it in the comments. I'm here to hear your take. Sign 3. Thoughts unraveling. When the mind starts to wander. All right, let's dive into sign number 3. A creeping fog of confusion or a slow retreat from the world they once ruled. It sneaks in like a whisper at first. Maybe they misplace their keys and laugh it off, ask you the same thing twice in 10 minutes, or blank on your cousin's name mid-chat. You brush it aside. "Hey, I forget stuff too. It's no big deal." But then the haze thickens. They're stumped by the layout of their own kitchen. Give you that deer in headlights look when you walk in, or ramble through a story that loops and fizzles out. This isn't just a senior moment. It's the mind starting to untangle, pulling back from the sharp, steady grip it used to have. What's happening under the hood? As the years stack up, the brain's wiring can fray. Connections that once fired like lightning start to flicker and fade. It's not a full blackout, but a gradual dimming. Familiar streets turn into a maze. Your face triggers a "who's that?" glitch, and words they'd snag in a heartbeat slip through their fingers like water. For them, it's a quiet panic. Imagine waking up in your own bed, but feeling like a stranger's crashed your house, or staring at someone you'd die for and drawing a blank on their name. That sinking, "I should know this" vibe, it's a gut-wrenching mix of frustration and fear, a private storm they can't outrun. You see it too, their eyes dart, searching for a lifeline. Or they go quiet, ducking out of talks they can't track. At first you want to play anchor. "Hey, it's me, remember? We're at home." Hoping to reel them back to solid ground. You're tossing facts like life preservers, thinking clarity's just a nudge away. But here's the raw deal. They're not lost because they're not trying. They're drifting because the map's blurring out. Pushing them to snap back can spark more stress than solutions, leaving them rattled and you wrecked. So what's the move? Drop the tug of war and step into their lane. This isn't about dragging them to your reality. It's about vibing in theirs, wherever that is. They ask about a grandparent who's been gone for decades. Don't hit them with, "They're not here anymore." That's a gut punch they don't need. Try, "Oh yeah, tell me about Grandpa's fishing trips. What did he catch?" They think you're their old buddy from 72? Roll with it. "Hey, remember that diner we hit up? Spill the tea." It's not lying. It's love. Meeting them where their minds landed. Keeping them safe in the moment. The magic's in the little anchors. A tune from their glory days might flick a switch. A gentle squeeze of their hand says, "I've got your back." Words might jumble, eyes might glaze, but feelings? Those stick. You're not fixing the fog. You're lighting it up with warmth. It's a dagger to watch them slip. Someone who knew every line of your life now sketching blanks. But love's not tied to recall. It's in the patience you pack, the chill you bring when their world's off kilter. Real life flash. Picture Ellen, 84, sharp as a tack once, now mixing up her kids' names. Her daughter'd correct her. "No, Mom, I'm Sue, not Jane." And Ellen'd shrink, mad at herself. Then Sue switched it up. When Ellen called her Jane, she'd grin. "Jane's my twin today. Tell me about her." Ellen'd light up, spinning tales, calm washing over. No fix, but connection. "She's still Mom," Sue said. That's the gold. Love over logic. This mind drifts a heads up. Their story's shifting, not ending. Don't wrestle the fade. Walk through it. Ever seen this haze roll in with someone you love? Drop it in the comments. I'm all ears for your take. Sign 4. Body's defenses fade when healing grinds to a halt. Let's jump into sign number 4, frequent infections and a healing game that's stuck in slow-mo. It starts creeping in like an uninvited guest, a sniffle that lingers way past its welcome, a little nick on their finger that's still raw weeks later, or a cough that digs in and won't let go. You used to know them as the tank who'd shrug off a cold in a day, barely popping an aspirin. Now, they're caught in a loop, sick more than they're not, doctors' visits stacking up like a bad playlist on repeat. It's not just a rough patch, it's the body waving a white flag, and it's a heavy one to watch. What's the deal? As time rolls on, the immune system, the body's bouncer, starts clocking out early. It's not slamming the door on germs like it used to. The shield's got cracks and every little bug's waltzing right in. A scratch that'd scab over in a snap now festers, a cold morphs into pneumonia. A bathroom trip sparks a UTI that hits hard. Even tiny wounds turn into big dramas. Red, angry, refusing to close. Back in the day, their system was a fighter, bouncing back like a champ. Now, it's more like a boxer past their prime. Still swinging, but the punches are weak and recovery's a crawl. For them, it's a grind they didn't sign up for. Every sneeze feels like a knockout. Every scrape a marathon to heal. You see the toll. They're wiped after battling a bug, meds piling up, and that fire they had? It's flickering under the weight of it all. You're itching to jump in. More antibiotics, another specialist, something to turn the tide. You're thinking, we can beat this, keep them kicking. But here's the gut-wrenching shift. Sometimes the body's not asking for a fight. It's begging for a breather. Pushing every treatment can drag them through more exhaustion than it's worth, leaving them frayed instead of fixed. So, what's the real power move? Ease off the warpath and lean into the calm. This isn't about surrendering. It's about switching gears from cure at all costs to comfort's the king. Their system's tapped out, not tapping out. Your job's to cushion the ride. Ditch the one more pill hustle and wrap them in what soothes. A warm blanket when they're shivery, a propped pillow to breathe easier, a gentle rub on their back that says, you're not in this solo. Success isn't a clean bill of health anymore. It's a peaceful vibe, a day without wincing, a rest that actually restores. It's a brutal flip. You want to throw the kitchen sink at it? Keep them here as long as you can. But love's not about how many battles you win. It's about how soft you make the landing. Let go of the scoreboard. Are they healing? Are we winning? And lock in on the now. Are they cozy? Are they calm? That's the gold. Tell them it's okay to chill. You've fought enough. I've got your back. When they're up for it, soak in the small stuff. A quiet nod, a shared glance. Because that's where the real stuff lives. Real life shift. Think of Maria, 81. She was a brick house, rarely sick. Then infections hit like a freight train. Colds turned brutal. A cut wouldn't quit. Her son went full throttle. Hospital runs, heavy meds, until Maria was just done, too tired to care. They flipped it. Less pushing, more peace. Warm tea, a soft bed, her favorite quilt. She didn't beat the bugs, but she smiled again. I just want to rest, she said. That's the win, her ease, not the RX count. This fade's a flare. The body's winding down, not waving off yet. Don't wrestle the clock. Cradle the moment. Ever watch someone you love fight this loop? Drop it in the comments. I'm here to hear your story. Sign 5. Sleep steals the show when rest runs the clock. All right, let's slide into sign number 5. Sleep patterns flipping upside down and taking over the day. It starts subtle. Afternoon naps stretch longer than a Netflix binge. Bedtime sneaks up way before the sun's gone. Or they're tossing and turning through the night like it's a wrestling match. You figure, they're just beat. Everyone sleeps more with age. But then it ramps up. They're dozing through lunch, nodding off mid-sentence, and the line between awake and out blurs into a drowsy haze. Days melt into a cycle of snooze, with barely a peep of the old zip they used to bring. This isn't just catching Z's. It's the body rewriting the rules, dialing in rest over everything else. What's the scoop? As the years stack on, the brain's internal clock, the one syncing day and night, starts to glitch. The nervous system's slowing its roll, energy's ration like the last drops in a canteen, and the body's like, nah, we're good, time to chill. Sleep stops being a recharge and turns into the main event. Hours stretch, naps pile up, and staying alert feels like chasing a ghost. They might mix up midnight for noon, drift off while you're spilling tea, or skip meals because they're too zonked to care. It's not them being lazy or checking out. It's their system shifting into a low-power mode, prepping for the big wind-down. For them, it's a weird ride. Time slips, reality fuzzes, and they're stuck in this half-dream limbo. You see it, eyes fluttering shut mid-story, a plate pushed away untouched. That spark you love dulled by a blanket of tired. Your gut screams, wake up, stay with me. You're nudging them for coffee, cranking the TV, anything to snap them back. You're thinking, if they just stay up, they'll hang on longer. But here's the cold truth. Jolting them awake doesn't juice them up. It jumbles them more, leaving them cranky and confused. Their body's not slacking, it's settling into a softer groove. So, what's the clutch move? Quit the tug-of-war and roll with the drift. This isn't about yanking them back to your schedule. It's about tuning into theirs wherever it lands. They're snoozing all day? Cool. Dim the lights, toss on some mellow tunes, wrap them in a cozy cocoon. They wake up groggy, mixing dusk for dawn. No sweat, keep it chill, whisper, hey, we're good, and let them ease in or out. Forcing the old 9-to-5 vibe just fries them. Rest's not the enemy here. It's the body's gentle nudge toward peace. Your gig. Make it smooth. Soft pillows, a warm vibe. No guilt trips about napping. When they're up, seize it. Keep it light. A quick love you, a hand to hold, a snippet of their old favorite song. It's not about how long they're awake. It's how loved they feel in the flicker. You're not losing them to sleep. You're gaining a chance to cradle their calm. Tell them it's all good. Crash whenever. I'm right here. It's a gut twist watching them fade into rest. But love's not about keeping them wired. It's about letting them coast with you riding shotgun. Real life fade. Think of Clara, 87. She'd been the early riser, breakfast by sunrise type. Then sleep took over. Naps ate her afternoons. Nights stretched into mornings. Her kids pushed. Mom, stay up, eat. But she'd slump, flustered. They flipped it. A quiet room, her jazz playlist low, chats when she surfaced. Clara didn't perk up, but she'd smile. I'm just resting, hun, she'd murmur. That's the shift. Calm over chaos. This sleep surge is a signal. The body's dialing back, not checking out. Don't fight the fade. Flow with it. Ever seen someone you love slip into this doze zone? Spill it in the comments. I'm hyped to hear your take. Sign 6, breathing goes quiet. The last gear downshift. All right, fam, we're at sign number 6. And this one's a heavy hitter. Breathing and circulation taking a sharp turn south. You feel it in the air first. The steady in and out you never noticed before now demands your full attention. It's offbeat. Gaps between breaths stretch longer than feels right. Their chest lifts slow and uneven, like it's hauling a load. Sometimes there's a soft gasp, a little grab for air that doesn't quite land. Other times it's so faint you lean in, holding your own breath just to catch the next one. Hands and feet turn chilly, lips hint at blue, and even shifting in their seat leaves them winded. This isn't just a rough day, it's the body slipping into its final lap. What's the rundown? As the end nears, the heart's not pumping with the old gusto. Blood's trickling, not rushing, and the lungs are dialing back to bare minimum. Energy's rerouted, hoarded for the essentials. And the rest? It's shutting down shop. Fingers that used to grip yours tight now feel like ice. Legs that carried them through decades barely shuffle. They're propped up more, hunting for a spot where breathing doesn't feel like a chore. Every inhale's a hustle, every exhale a surrender. It's not pain, not always. Just a quiet signal that the engine's idling, prepping to park for good. For them, it's a strange fade. Air's harder to snag, the world's heavier, and they're stuck in this limbo where even sitting up's a win. You see it, the shallow rise, the pause that freezes your chest, the tired slump when they catch a breath. Your gut's yelling, Do something, make it easier. And you're ready to call every dock, rig every gadget, anything to smooth it out. You're thinking, if we fix this, they'll rally. But here's the raw cut. This isn't a glitch to patch. It's a sign the system's winding down and no tweaks flipping that switch back on. So what's the real flex? Drop the hero cape and pick up the comfort kit. This isn't about wrestling fate. It's about softening the ride. They're not gasping for a cure. They're grasping for calm. Ditch the "we can beat this" grind and lean into what eases them. Crack a window or flick on a fan for a cool breeze. Stack pillows to prop them just right. Drape a warm blanket over those cold hands. Keep it simple. Soft hum of a tune they love. A gentle, "I'm right here," or just your quiet vibe filling the space. Words might fade, but your warmth doesn't. They feel it, even if they can't say it. It's a gut-wrenching watch. Every shaky breath's a countdown you can't unhear. You want to scream, rewind, anything to keep them steady. But love's not about stalling the clock. It's about cradling the now. Success isn't more air. It's less struggle. Tell them it's okay. Rest easy. I've got you. When they catch a moment, soak it in, a faint nod, a flicker of a smile, because that's where the gold hides. You're not fixing the fade. You're fueling their peace. Real-life anchor. Think of Ray, 83, once a chatterbox full of steam, then breathing tanked, short puffs, long pauses, hands like ice. His wife went hard. Oxygen tanks, docks on speed dial, until Ray rasped, "Just sit with me." She switched. A fan humming, pillows stacked, his old blues records low. No big rally, but he'd squeeze her hand. "This is enough," he'd breathe. That's the shift. Comfort over chaos. This breathing dip's the loudest whisper yet. The finish line's close, not here. Don't fight the fade, feather the landing. Ever seen this quiet shift in someone you love? Drop it in the comments. I'm all in for your story. There you have it, fam. 6 quiet whispers your loved one's body might be sending a year before the curtain falls. Weight slipping off like a ghost. Energy fading into a whisper. Thoughts drifting into the fog. Defenses crumbling under sneaky bugs. Sleep claiming the day, and breath slowing to a hush. These aren't loud alarms, they're subtle nudges, easy to miss if you're not tuned in. But once you catch them, you're not just a bystander. You're the MVP in their final stretch, armed to turn fleeting time into something golden. This isn't about dodging the end, it's about decking it out with comfort, dignity, and a love that sticks. Rewind those signs. Weight dropping isn't a diet win, it's a cue to swap force feeding for gentle care. Fatigue's not laziness, it's a call to cradle their rest. Confusion's not a fail, it's a chance to vibe in their world. Infections piling up? Ease trumps cure? Sleep taking over? Let it roll. Breathing fading? Soothe the ride. Spot these, and you've got power, not to stop the clock, but to make every tick glow with peace. Life's not yelling, "Fix me" here, it's whispering, "Hold me," and that's where you shine. Here's the real kicker. This isn't a loss, it's a legacy. Every hand you hold, every soft word you drop, every quiet moment you share, it's building something bigger than stuff or years. Society's got us chasing gadgets, piling up junk, thinking that's the prize. But flash back, your best days weren't the new car or the shiny watch. They were the coffee at dawn, the belly laughs with them, the "I'm here" vibes that didn't need a receipt. Now's your shot to strip it back. Ditch the clutter, grab the calm, and pour love into what's left. Their body's winding down, but your heart's winding up. Make it loud, make it warm, make it theirs. So, which hit you deepest? The weight fade? The breath shift? Spill it in the comments. I'm diving into every story you've got. This hit home? Smash that like button. It's your high five to keep these real talk drops coming. Not in the crew yet? Hit subscribe and tap that bell. Trust me, you don't want to sleep on what's next. We're just heating up. Share this with someone who needs it. Tag your fam, your ride or die, anyone who'd vibe with this truth. Let's spread the love because we're all in this game together. Life's not about how long you hustle or how much you stack. It's about how you show up when it counts. These 6 signs? They're your heads up to slow down, tune in, and love hard. You're not powerless. You're the anchor, the light, the I've got you they'll carry forever. Don't fight the fade. Frame it with grace. Let's ditch the noise, embrace the stillness, and make every second sing. Not with fear, but with gratitude. You're crafting a legacy of warmth, connection, and peace that echoes way past the last breath. Ever downsize your chaos for love? Drop the grind for the good stuff? Tell me below. I'm all ears. Thanks for rolling with me. You're the real champs. Catch you next time. Keep it bold, keep it loving, and keep shining.